All right, y'all. Happy Monday. So I am going to go over how I make my drink when it comes to the okra, the garlic, and also the ginger. So I just got one piece of okra. I literally just freeze the okra and just put it in the freezer. So I put that in there. One piece of garlic, put that in there, and then I have my ginger. Put that in there. Just get you some water. Okay, tighten that on real good. Tighten that on super tight. And then what you do is you just hit it. You can just blend it. And if you don't have a blender, you can just crush them up in pieces and just put them in water and just sip on it throughout the day. All right. All right. Wait a minute, I still see some chunks going on in there. If it's some in it, that's fine. Just as long as it goes. I mean, it's going into our system. So then what I do is I just take a like a regular little old, pop bottle. Could be tea or whatever. Or you can just get a glass or whatever, like, a glass of water. So let me pour it. Okay, so I got that in there and got a couple more. So I got me a nice glass here. And then what I do is put the rest in a glass. And I'm going to be honest with you. The stuff is nasty. But once you drink it, you're going to feel really, the first day you feel like Dex and things are moving around. But then the second day drinking it, you feel like, Dex, I got a lot of energy. So bottoms up. Notice how I didn't add anything into it. So one of you had left a comment and was like, well, if you can't do garlic, no, don't add into what the dream was. Remember, the Lord gave her the dream and told her garlic, okra, and ginger. Now, there was somebody else who had a dream. He said garlic, okra, ginger, but I think they said that grass, that new grass that everybody's intaking at mom's. But don't add into a dream when God did not say anything about garlic, regardless whether or not if you can take garlic or not. He said to her garlic, ginger, and okra. And so I'm following directions. I'm not adding. If you want to eat broccoli as a salad or whatever, do that. But I would not add that into your drink. Hi. Oh, I know. They dropped it to 0. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But here, bottoms up. Oh, that was disgusting. But you know what? It's going to boost my immune system. Coronavirus will not find itself over here. So I put some in my bottle because what I plan to do is put this in the refrigerator and I sip on it throughout the day. And believe it or not, it starts to get really, like, I'm not going to say addictive, but you do feel the difference. There's a lot of great things with okra because okra is very good for your skin. Oh goodness, garlic. Okra boosts your immune system. So after a while, you kind of get used to the taste, but I feel very good. It definitely does cleanse and clear out certain things, like if you have sinuses or something like that. But I'm just so grateful for the dream that the Lord gave her, because I literally prayed and asked God to show us the cure for this coronavirus. And those were the three things that the Lord showed her. There was nothing extra added. So please don't add any extra in the comment, because people who are looking for something to boost their immune system against this particular um this type of strain needs to know what the Lord told her. I would not add just because somebody couldn't intake that in. It's like, what you going to do? You want to go ahead and deal with the virus, or you just going to go ahead and down it? I'm going to down it. So hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me just put my things up. Wait a minute. Hold on. Got my energy boost for the day. And again, you can go to the store and you can get you some. Nobody's really going after that, because sooner or later, when it starts getting around that this thing is really a helper in fighting against this, everybody and their mom are going to be trying to grab it. So you know what I know, like, this is way more, I think this is more beneficial for you to get this than water. Because you can easily, I mean, we can go old school and start getting, water out of our faucets if we have to. But when they went ahead and did the special report, they were telling you that it's not, if the United States is going to dodge it, they're saying when it hits here. So if you're saying when you hit here, some of us may end up contracting this daggone coronavirus. So, there's certain doctors out there that's saying you need to boost your immune system. So I love the dream that the Lord had gave to this woman, and it was unexpected, because that's exactly the answer that I was looking for. I'm not adding in broccoli. You can add a little thyme in. You can add this. No, that's not what God said to her. So please, y'all, be very careful what you post, because when people go through the posting, they're reading that and you adding that, and God never said that. So I would just stick to the instructions, okay? Those three things. And I just downed it, and I'm perfectly fine. My breath smell like garlic, but I'm perfectly fine. If some people, I just can't stomach it, well, then you go ahead and deal with the daggone corona then. I will stomach this, okay? I will juice 5 garlic things if I have to, and gulp it down to avoid this, because at the end of the day, some of us are the head of our households and we can't go down with this. So anywho, I'm just praying that this thing really that so it's just that simple, you guys. It's just that simple. Now let's talk about the stock market. So interest rates did go to zero. What does that mean? I mean, let me tell you something about Trump. I knew it was going to go to zero, because Trump be going. I mean, he went at it with the dude that's in charge of the feds or whatever. He even threatened him and was like, "Look, I can replace you." And next thing you know, it dropped. But other countries have been dropping their interest rate, even to some a negative zero. So when I speak to a lot of, not speak to, when I look at a lot of these realtors, I mean brokers, they are thinking like, oh, but mortgage rates aren't going to go that way. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't it go that way? I mean, we're dealing with the epidemic right now. So you would think to drive it all the way down before you have all of these empty houses out here to a zero. So right now it's like at I want to say the mid twos, still the threes, but who knows what next week will bring, because that's the first thing I looked at, because I just went ahead and locked into a 3.1 from, well, I didn't lock because I'm due to go to closing next month, but I'm going from a 5.25 to a 3.1, and that's going to save me about almost $400. So if the interest rates in the market, well, not market, but if the interest rates in the real estate market, far as mortgage rates hit to zero, that would save me over $800 on my mortgage. And I know my the what is it? The loan officer was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna tell you something right now. If I see zero, I'm gonna be like, you better make it happen, or I'm gonna find me a new daggone a new broker. Trust and believe me, a loan officer. But I'm like, come on now, because in these times right now, like I said, it's not the time to start going out here and shopping and do. Like you really got to prepare yourself, because a lot of jobs are being hit with um if you work in the restaurants, people aren't going to restaurants anymore. They have to shut down. As a matter of fact, they just announced that they are shutting down the MGM over here in Maryland. So I'm just like, this thing is really, really serious, and this is going to affect people's jobs. So of course, the government is trying to step in and pretty much um just start making money and dumping it into the market. So today, as soon as the market opened, it already crashed. So they the people who knew everything, like, we know what's going on with the market, and they have all of these things. You need to invest here, invest there. Man, they're shaking in their boots. You got billionaires that went from billionaires to just regular Joes overnight. People who Mommy, what do you want? Give me some kisses, because I love you so much. Sit down. You want to sit down right here? Okay, excuse me, you guys. Excuse me. My baby wants to sit down. I was not expecting you to sit down right here. I know I don't like to be in the thing. But yeah, so interest rates right now are really crazy. And I'm paying attention to it. You should pay attention to it too. Because they're just like, this is what's going on. It's the corona. It's the coronavirus. It's a lot of fear too that's going on as well. You want to look at this one? Yeah. Sure. Hold on, you guys. I'm gonna let my baby watch her shows. Okay. So it's a lot of fear. Here, you can sit down, since you just took over my office. So it's a lot of fear that's going on. And I'm paying attention to it, because he was like, I can't, if I lock you into this rate, I can't change it. I'm going to tell you something right now. If I see that interest rate go from a 3 point, now he locked me into a 3.1. There's some people out there that's getting it in the twos. I'm fine by 3.1, but if I see that thing go to zero, I'm going to say, yes, you can make it happen. You will lose a client, because I will find me somebody else that's going to make it happen. And so that's something to really pay attention to. But if people like Walmart, Lysol, disinfectant wipes and all of that, their businesses are booming right now. Bitcoin took a huge drop. I think they lost about almost $1 billion from the last time that I looked at it. And I'm not like a Bitcoin investor in someone who would invest in anything like that, but I've been like paying attention to that. My job sector is in property management, real estate, so I look at the numbers. This lets me know when interest rates go down, the average renter is ready to buy a home. When interest rates go up, you have more people that's just okay. They're okay to rent. So it lets me know who's going out the door and who's going to be coming in. You got a lot of baby boomers now and older folks that are basically getting rid of the big house, and they're starting to downsize into something small. So I look at that, and I also have to look at how is this going to affect my household. So now they're saying that the dollar seems to be going up. And people are trying to scramble around and pull their money out of certain places and see where they can put their investments in, or how they can gain, because you got a lot of people that lost a lot of money overnight. And to be honest with you, they ain't got nothing to do with me. So I really don't care. I don't. Um, but I am caring about the insurance rates. And so they're saying now that I had to learn of who's backing what when you're backing these bonds, and you have the what is it, the banks that have to have a certain amount of money. They went ahead and just basically wiped that out in order for them to be giving these mortgages. But they have to have someone to back that, and that's where the government is stepping up in there, the Federal Reserve. So it's just really interesting just to read up on all of this stuff. Some of it I don't understand, some of it I do, and I'm trying to comprehend it. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. I am looking at those insurance rates. So if you were really thinking about, is this a good time to buy a house? And before you thought that you could not because the rates were so high, I would say you need to jump in it like you playing double dutch. You need to get up in there and just start working the rope because the insurance rates are going down. However, you also have to look at your jobs too. Like, is your job equipped to go and sustain itself going through this? So in my position, because I deal with a lot of sales face to face, so we're starting to do teleworking where I'm going to be working from home, but there are going to be days when I do go into the office and when I have to set appointments. So I have to step up my game even more so to make sure that my numbers are still producing. And yesterday was really crazy because starting now from today on, we're only setting appointments by appointments. But yesterday was so crazy because we had so many people that came out. And of course, I had my hand sanitizer and everything. But it's like, even when people were coming at the last minute, I could have said, you don't have an appointment. I'm sorry. But I'm like, I got to make this money. Like, I have to make sure that I'm paying my bills and making sure that I'm taking care of my daughter. And with that, I'm asking God for wisdom with trying to boost my immune system, washing my hands, being very sanitary, just wiping things down. And not even just washing my hands, because everybody should be washing their hands, but I'm washing my hands even more often. Um, and so, in the times that we're living in, I'm just praying this too shall pass. But, even though it's a downside, this could be a great opportunity. And I think the U.S. realized one thing is that we need to start making and creating more jobs that are based in the USA. Because when China went down, we didn't know what the heck to do because we get majority of our things from China. The mask went up, and when I was telling everybody to head to the Dollar Tree, they laughed me out. And the same mask as you can get 10 in a pack, you could have got at the Dollar Tree. Now all of a sudden, $40, $50, $60 for the one pack. And I'm like, come on, y'all, let's be very smart. It's not the mask or the hand sanitizer or the hand soap that's going to protect you from an airborne virus. It's we need a cure to kill it. And that's why I pay attention. Like, I know that the Lord spoke to somebody. So that's why and you do have people too. This is not a 100% fatality rate. You know what I'm saying? It's not even 50% fatality rate. There are people that overcame it and they recovered from it. So this is not like, like this is all well and doom. We got to be very smart, especially as Christians, that we need to boost our immune systems up. Okay, so God gave a sister in Christ, a brother in Christ, a couple of folks some dreams of what we need to do, that we need to take heed of that. Now, if you got all excuses in the world of why you're not going to do it, then hey, you on your own. Because at the end of the day, some of us, we got to still keep moving through this storm. You got a lot of parents now that are trying to figure out what are they going to do about their sitters, because they didn't shut down the schools. They're shutting, and then I'm also looking at the bigger picture too, that this is like a this is like a world order type thing here. This is the perfect storm to start creating and tearing down people's freedoms by promoting such a fear like this. and quarantine people into into camps and all of this other type of mess. Like, I ain't stupid. I'm not stupid. I'm praying that this does turn around and that we say, oh, everybody's good to go. We're fine. But, just pay attention. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm paying attention to the market. So, yes, interest rates just went to a zero. And Trump was like, I really wanted it to, it's not what did he say? It's not a negative zero, but I really commend the Federal Reserve because I'm like, you pressured him to do it. You told him, I could replace you if you don't do this. And although I'm like, zero is awesome, I just really hope it hit the real estate sector to zero. And people are like, well, how are you going to make any money? Look, let me tell you something right now. For those of us that are paying mortgages, and even for the renter sector too, when you don't have a lot of people that's out there applying for apartments, usually owners will start to drop the rate. So this can be a great opportunity for someone who's looking for a particular apartment and they thought they couldn't afford it. Now you're being offered all of these specials. So this is a great time to take advantage of that. Like, if you're trying to move. If you're trying to go out and get a house and you think like, I can't afford it, you probably couldn't afford it a couple of months back, but now it's just open for you to go ahead and grab it. Now you have a lot of real estate folks that's just saying, oh, it's not ever going to be to zero, and it's not ever going to. This is the new way now. Like, they're saying that these low interest rates will be like the new norm. When I was 22 years old and I first got a house, I wasn't even reading through the fine line. I think my interest rate was like at a 12 point something. At 12 point something. And then I didn't even realize I was signing up for an adjustable rate. So 3 years after that, it went from my mortgage payment went from $1,200 to $1,600. Now you could say, well, that's really not that bad. But back then, I'm like, what the heck? But I was a part of that whole thing when Countrywide and everybody went down. And so, the government had to step in and do that daggone huge bailout for these mortgages who were basically, they were doing predatory lending to folks that you knew couldn't even afford this stuff, and you were giving them an adjustable rate. So I would say this to anyone: if you're going to go in and get any type of real estate, make sure it's a 30-year fix or a 15-year fix, depending on how long you plan to be in your house and make those mortgage payments. That being said, I was just looking at somebody else's video, and they were saying that they believe that the housing prices are going to start going down, meaning that the house may not be worth as much. And I'm like, I don't see that coming, because if interest rates are very low, they're going to start increasing the values on certain homes, because somebody's going to try to pick up some money somewhere. But then again, we're still so-called dealing with an epidemic out here. So the best rate to get somebody to pay for something that's really probably not worth nothing. I mean, think about it. You got homes 7 years ago was worth $10,000. That same home is worth like $1,000,000. To get somebody to start paying you for these four walls, why not take it down to zero, at least like 1 point whatever, until you start driving the thing back up? I mean, most properties would do that. Like, oh, we're not getting any rentals. Well, fine, we'll give you 1 to 2 months rent free. I've even seen people do 3 months rent free, just to lock you into a lease agreement and put a head in the bed so they can have that type of money coming in. So I'm paying attention to that. Personally, right now, if your finances can do it, and you feel like you can go out and buy you a brand new car or whatever, then do you. But if you're really like on the edge and you really don't know what's going on with your job and your position, I would not take on any new debt. If anything, I would try to minimize whatever type of debt you may have. Try to pay any type of debt off, of course. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really even thinking like, I'm with who am I with? Comcast. And I'm just like, I'm paying for things I don't even use. So I'm thinking about going ahead and switching over to Verizon so I can take my bill down, at least cut it by 50%. because I'm just like, I would like that money to go in my pocket instead of going for things that I'm just not using. But that's just a whole nother thing about finances and stuff, because I'm still asking God to really show me how to be more smart about my finances and spending. Um, but again, I'm paying attention to this market. I'm paying attention to this market, and it does affect people's jobs, because you don't know the person you working for in that business, or what type of stocks that it invested itself in, and if it took a big hit, it may cause a ripple effect. So around this time, it's like it's really uncertain, but it's like this too shall pass. Just batten down the hatches, hold on tight, do what you got to do, keep prayed up, boost your immune systems, and go in. Just go in. Action and faith go together. Just don't sit in the corner and start crying. Um, because you got a lot of people that lost a lot of money. That when they took a hit, they just like, dang, they took a real hit. And now it's just like, when does it ever stop? Especially the ones. It's not funny. I don't mean to laugh at y'all. I don't mean to laugh, Lord. Especially the ones who invested a lot. You're like, when does it ever stop? What am I going to do? Well, start all over. But yeah, we are like, yeah. So I would make sure that just pay attention to the market, because I'm gonna tell you something. I was never really into like all of these big companies and what they got going on, but when you're really trying to be financially stable, you start to learn all of these certain things. But I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of people who had their 401ks, this stuff was just gone overnight, like um and a lot of people, I remember my best friend back in the day, because I remember back in the day we were talking about 401k, and she was like, is you crazy? I'm not about, this is my best friend. This is when I was in my early 20s. She would say, you crazy? I'm not about to give my money over to these dudes so they can play craps with my money at the stock market and lose my money. I was like, oh my goodness. And I remember when me and my husband did their song, and I said they robbed me with no gun, talking about my money got lost in the stock market. But it's because that's when the stock market was going down. But anyway, that's just the whole thing about the stock market, is it can go up, down. You can kind of move your money back and forth. I'm still trying to learn the whole thing, but you gotta laugh at it. I mean, but you got people who lost like a lot of money, and now people are just like, you can see the faces that were so sure. They was just so like, this is what you need to do. Like that guy, his name Kramer or something like that. He's just like, yeah, he's all amped and everything. And then when you see his eyes look big as quarters, and he's in shock with his jaw down, like, look, you guys, look. I'm like, see, y'all better get it together, because everybody's cool when the operation is going right, until somebody throws a wrench in your operation and things go downhill. It's the same way with, you better accept Jesus Christ, because you've been paying attention to other things except for the Lord, and so for your salvation. And when something stops you in your tracks, you're gonna wish. So right now, everybody's just going crazy. You see everybody in suits. Everybody's trying to come up with their own logics. Oh, it's just like, really. All I know, me personally, if I see interest rates for mortgages drop to zero, I'm gonna have that big old Chester cat smile, like the cat off of Alice in Wonderland. I'm gonna be under like, wait a minute. Did I just see zero? I'm talking about zero. What? And I'm like, Lord. And so when he told me, Ramona, if I lock you into this rate, I can't change it now. Oh, you gonna change it. Oh, you gonna change it. If that thing go to zero, you are going to change it. You can make it happen. You can make it happen, Captain. If that thing goes to zero, I mean, I'm not going to be greedy. 3 point is good, but shoot, if you going to shave another $500 off, we supposed to be wise, wise as doves out here. We are not anyone's fool. Y'all should see my eyeballs right now. We're supposed to be wise out here. So if you're in a home right now and your interest rate is high and you've completed your 6 months and you're able to go right ahead and do a refinance, then I would definitely do that. And I don't think too, because of what the times that we're living in, since our government wants to shut everything down, but it was mainly your fault anyway for just allowing anyone to just fly through the daggone gate. And then y'all, another thing too that I was reading and I thought was pretty funny was Mexico is talking about shutting down their borders. I said, well. They was like, it's not that Mexican. Look at this. And the dude would say, it's not that Mexican people can bring corona to them. It's that they can bring it to us. I'm like, well. Look at what we got here. But at the same time, I'm nobody's fool. This looked like some one world order type mess going around here. We got to take away your freedoms real quick because of this corona. I don't mean no harm. I can't compare, but Ebola sound way worse than corona. It's just that, and they're showing a lot of older people that it's affecting, but it is affecting people in their 30s too. Say hello.
Say hello.
Symphony, you can't just hover over in front of the video now. Settle down.
Oh, wait a minute.
Settle down. Settle down. Come on, go get your bike. We're going outside. Come on. Let's go. Where's your helmet at? Where Grandma put your helmet?
No.
We're going to go outside so you can ride your bike. You don't want to ride your bike? You know what? You don't want to ride your bike? My daughter's like, no, of course not. They must have just put that fence up. I'm waiting for Home Depot to come over here and drop my my skirt off so I can start working. I need to call them and be like, excuse me, you guys, but you were supposed to deliver my package a couple of days ago. But yeah, so that's just my take on it. Is that yes, I saw the interest rate, but see, interest rates on their end doesn't necessarily mean that it's the mortgage rates, because most lenders still want to make a profit, because if they give you 300,000, then in the long term you're just paying them back 300,000. So they want some type of interest on it. So at the end of the day, they gave you 300 and you ended up paying them back 500 or 600. You know what I'm saying? So that's where your interest goes in. So it's just basically like they will be giving you free money just to pay them back. But then again, I'm just like, this is not even real money. For real. Let's be honest. I was really thinking about the whole real estate taxes and all of that. The government tax you for everything. When you get your paycheck, they take daggone half of it and that's another thing too that President Trump was trying to push for, is to get rid of paycheck taxes. I'm like, shoot, it would be wonderful to actually see my real check, what I really gross, not what I net. But that would be absolutely wonderful if you would do that. But I think he was discussing and they were going over options with that. So that's another thing too to look at, is that how you get your paycheck and you look down and shoot the government and put their hand, foot, head, eyeballs, everything into your stuff and snatched it out and was like, and you can take the rest. Now they're trying to free up that and let you go ahead and get some money so you can jumpstart the economy, because when the economy starts, it's just a ripple effect here. It's just a ripple effect. Nobody's gonna want to go. Who's gonna want to go out there and start shopping? Like, who's gonna be going out there shopping for some new shoes, some purses, and whatever? Where you gonna go? You can't go to your regular places because they already shut that down. Some of y'all was like, I still want to go on my cruise. Really? And a lot of people have been already talking about a floating petri dish. You really gonna really? They're not doing that. That's why I've been telling everyone too that, go ahead and try to boost that immune system, because some of you guys are still in apartments. And to me, it's just like a daggone ship, a huge these ships that been going on. Like, these people been catching this stuff. One person was in the West Wing, this one was in the East Wing, and this person still went ahead and caught the coronavirus, being confined in their own home. You got vents going on. So when I got to my job, I went ahead and stood on my desk and I was Lysoling the mess out of the daggone vent. Hey. And I remember when I first got that Lysol, they was like, oh, Ramona, don't spray that in the air because it's not meant to be. I said, let me tell y'all something. I would spray this on me as perfume if I have to. But anyway, they're making fun of me. And then when it hit the ceiling fan, then everybody's spraying it all in the air. I said, wait a minute, what are you guys doing? You can't spray it. Just playing. I was just playing. But it's just like, oh, now y'all, oh, okay. So now y'all believe what I was saying. So anywho, so when you're in an apartment community, you got to worry about these vents too, because trust and believe me, it's not just you don't have your vent going outside. It's connected with other vents to other apartments too. So you got to take that into consideration as well. They didn't say that it was not going to hit the US. They just said thousands, if not millions, are going to be affected by it. So I'm like, okay. So if the probability of this thing coming in my face, Father, what can I do to beat it? Father, what is the cure? And the dream was put out there to a couple of our brothers and sisters in Christ, and I'm going to take heed of that, okay? I'm also paying attention to the interest rates. If you know that your job is a job that may be affected by what's going on, then if you got a computer, you need to go online right now and see if they're hiring for any at-home jobs. See if there's any other things that you can do to make extra money. You got some parents out here that are looking for sitters while they go into the workplace to continue on, providing for their children. If you are able to do that, then start, being reasonable with what you would charge to look at look over someone else's child. I mean, don't hit their heads, but you know what I'm saying? Let's work this thing out. We got to do what we got to do. But I would say this, like I've been saying, to make sure you go and get you some okra, ginger, and garlic. Pay attention to the insurance rates. I'm even, look at the different jobs out here and see what you can do to try to, increase your income to stay afloat, because I know a lot of you are afraid. But remember that God is in control. And if you lose anything, He's going to give it, you can get it back. You can always rebuild. You can always whatever, but know what's important around this time. So anyway, y'all have a blessed day today. I'm going to be talking to y'all this afternoon. And when we talk this afternoon, we are going to be talking about, there was a church that went ahead and told this other church that they weren't allowed to be a part of the Baptist church because of the things that they was doing. But this church also brought up, well, you let the divorcees get away with it. We're going to talk about that. But anyway, y'all have a blessed day today. Stay prayed up. Boost your immune systems up. I'm praying for y'all. And we're going to get through this and look back and be like, remember when we went through that? We came out, though. We came out. Anyway, y'all be blessed and have a great day today.